It's time for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Here with a load of laughs, info, and fun, it's Tony B, Dave B, and Timmy D.
Before I go alone. Don't ask me this and one more song. It ain't too costly, no, I ain't too cheap, so just relax. I'm on my knees.
Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen Podcast, episode number 109. My name is Tony B. Alongside me, as usual, is David B. And Timmy D is in the house.
Hey! You guys might as well call me a special guest at this point.
Today, we got some industry headlines from David B. We got a White House cocaine update. Timmy D's excited about that update. UFOs everywhere. They're happening. The views of Ship's Gonna Happen are purely news-driven and do not express the views of any transportation provider or any business entity that uses it. Timmy D, why are we here this Saturday morning?
Transportainment. Because we give me an opportunity to talk. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is the mic on? Can everyone hear me? Everybody
Yeah.
okay?
Yes. Loud and clear.
It's been 9.5 weeks, but here I am.
Transportainment.
She is not pregnant again, by the way.
Oh, good. We thought maybe we had that. You can catch us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Ship's Gonna Happen Podcast, episode 109. All you have to do is Google us, search in any search engine, and you will find us. David B., I'm excited. Timmy D's here. Good morning.
It is so good to see Timmy D, producer Tony. I felt like this morning when I pulled up looking at your yard that I should have some putter and a golf ball in my hand. That yard just looks so nice. You do such a great job with that. Before we had that last great rainstorm, I had put down some fertilizer. Okay. And I think it just was the perfect storm for it, you know.
Can I say that I've drove through here for the past 9.5 weeks, we're going to call it, I've been gone. I've seen him on his front porch watching it grow. It's true story. It's true story.
All right. I can imagine.
It's a little weird. I've bent down and looked at my grass in the middle of the yard, and people are like, "Dude, what is he doing?"
God, I wish there was
wow.
a
You should have seen the calf on that guy.
Bending over the wrong way.
Go ahead, David.
Sorry, David.
Look, Mom, Tony's bending over.
Yikes.
So this show, along with all of our other shows, are brought to you by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go after a Ship's Gonna Happen week. Great place to go unwind, get a good meal, get some good beverages, chat it up with the locals, hear some good music. I was in there last night in that place, and I'm not just saying this because they help us out, but that place was literally packed to the gills, packed. They had to turn people away. It was that busy. So it's good to see. That was 2 Fridays in a row where it's just been insanely packed. Anyway, good to see it. It's the Great Divide right downtown Indianapolis, 743 East New York Street. Timmy D, it's been such a long time. It's so good to see you. How have you been, sir?
Well, I know you guys didn't believe this, but I'm still alive.
Yes.
It's been, I've talked about you guys many of times over the past weeks.
I hope it was good.
Was fishing?
Well,
was
I
your
was
fishing trip?
I was talking about you guys. So I did the fishing trip. That was last weekend, but just life happens. So I apologize for being out.
No big deal.
We're good.
The horn here, but
We've been worried.
no need to worry. Still alive. I come by Tony's house probably 6 days a week.
I've seen the boys come by a few times.
Life happens, and I'm glad to be back. And I hate to tell you guys, but I have to run today at some point.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Life happens. But,
you got a birthday party, right?
Well, other things before that happens. So,
sure.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's good to see you guys. And David B. So David B. owed me the jersey he's wearing.
I see. I was going to mention it. Circle City,
which is an Indians jersey. Believe it or not, they auction those off. I don't know if you realize that.
I do not.
Yours is probably not. They probably sell them just now, but the title on the back of his jersey, we won't get into it, is about Purdy. But maybe I can wait to random thoughts because I'm curious about the number. Do you know what the number means?
No.
This is my birthday.
Oh, it is? Damn it.
No, you were not born on the 24th, and you are not 24 years old.
I was born on the 24th.
I guess you were, yes.
Yeah.
4 months into it
Right.
at the 24th day.
Right.
Yeah. Good stuff.
If math geniuses could do the... You want to get... No, we don't have enough numbers for the year.
There we go.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Doing good, brother. Glad you're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love you too, my man.
Miss you guys. It's been real fun.
You too.
Miss you guys.
We have missed you, and we are glad you're here, healthy, sound, and
They're shaking
resilient.
their head no.
Yeah, no, we're happy. But so Timmy D, what about just give us an update on your fishing and stuff you've done? You golf, and I know you've been maybe doing a little bit of that, and you had some vacation.
No, I haven't had time to go.
Really? Where'd you go fishing at?
So I always go up to Lake Erie. We caught some hogs.
Wow.
Matter of fact, one guy, he's getting one, what do they call it, whatever, framed or stuffed, whatever.
Taxidermy does it, whatever it's called. Yeah.
He's got one. Put a Pringles can next to this freaking fish, and the Pringles can is 30% length of this walleye.
It was the
The
chubby.
length. No, the girth on the thing.
Oh yeah. Wow.
The teeth on it. Yeah.
Really?
Of course, we're like, we want the meat. And
Yeah.
he's like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and get that one. It's a wall hanger, and it really is. It's going to cost him about $1,000 to get it done. I
Wow.
guess. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But we each, there's 6 guys, so you get 36 fish a day for 6 guys. So you each get 6. And we ended up bringing home about 10 pounds apiece.
Wow.
So and then, we paid the skin and them all that. You might as well. And they cut the cheeks out. So I don't think I've ever had the cheeks. So I separated the cheeks. We just had it on Wednesday. All the kids ate it, which I was like, wow, they're pretty finicky.
So how do you cook it though, real quick? How did you cook it?
There's an Andy seasoning from Kroger or wherever, no matter, Cajun and Andy seasoning. I don't do it. It's kind of like a breading, but it's not. I'm on a low carb diet that I've been on for about 3 weeks. And I probably had 25 carbs in all the fish I ate, tops. So it was really nothing. You throw that straight on the fish and then pan fry it.
Wow.
And the boys ate the crap out of it.
I bet
and
they
little
did.
dude ate the crap out of it. You always worry about the fish bones. the
Sure,
little
yeah.
dude, you
Yep,
know.
Yep.
Man, they're like just little tiny chicken nuggets. Man, they just taste amazing.
Yeah. There's nothing like eating walleye, crappie, it's good eating.
So crappie, I always get frustrated because typically crappie, you're skinning yourself. Then you come out with this tiny little fillet, right?
Yeah.
You're like, well, who's that going to feed?
Right.
You know?
You got to catch a lot of crappie.
You got,
Yeah.
You get, I think 12 a day in Indy, but yeah, you got to use a lot. You, I don't know, but it was good. It was a good time. It tried to rain on us one time, and I lost my ass. You guys ever played liar's poker?
No.
With your dollar bills?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That used to be, there was this barbershop that I would go to when I was younger, at Little Bitty Colfax, Indiana. Every single time I went in there was 5 or 6 guys sitting in there playing liar's poker.
I've never played it. What the heck's that?
It's fantastic. So you basically, you got your dollar bill and you use the serial number on it.
Mhm.
Oh, I have done that. Yeah.
So it's all 3 of us. You're using everyone's dollar bill that no one knows. So that's kind of your cards.
Right.
The trickiest part is, so we got a guy, and so ones are called aces.
Yep.
And then zeros are called
10?
tens. So you're like, I got 7 tens. Well, you can't see a 10. So a lot of people that get drunk, they're looking for 1 0 as a 10. Well, no, your 0 is your 0, right?
Right.
And we sat around one night, probably 6 hours. Pull out your next dollar bill. Let's go. It got to the point. It was like people were like, pull out your $100 bill. Let's go with the $100 bills. So here's what happens. So the game is you basically call everyone's bluff. So at the end of the day, let's say I got 10 nines is what I call. And you're like, no, there ain't no damn way. So you call them a bluff. We take all your 9s plus my 9s, and then that becomes I have to have 10 9s.
Yeah.
If I don't, I pay everybody $1.
Oh, wow.
If I do, you guys give me your dollar that you pretty much already pot committed anyways.
Mhm.
So as the liar, it costs you how many ever people's in the pot.
Holy cow.
But as a spectator, it only costs you the $1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better sometimes to hold your me shut my mouth is tough, right? It costs me a lot of money.
That sounds like a fun game, especially if you've been drinking.
It's a great game.
Yep.
So I challenge all the truck drivers on their headphones out there. Can you play liar's poker over the headphones, you think?
Ooh.
And would you be honest enough to put those in envelopes and hand to your next buddy that you played with?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You'd have to find some honest people to play that game. Right?
Oh, over the road?
Yeah,
Hell yeah, you
yeah.
would.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome stuff, man. So David B., what's going on in the trucking industry?
So I kind of threw you for just a little bit of a loop, producer Tony, when I said I was going to go over some industry headlines. One of the headlines caught my attention. I'm going to capitalize on this story that there's a company that's going to target old drive-in theaters as parking areas for semi trucks. So I thought that this story would be interesting. I'm going to just read verbatim from Transport Topics News. The story is dated July the 13th. A 40-year veteran of the trucking and transportation industry believes that he has a business plan where him and a group of investors could take old drive-in theaters and turn them into semi-truck parking areas. So they're going to do a study on this and see about turning these spaces into well-needed trucking truck driver parking spots. They're formulating a team to go look at this. They said most of them already have the necessary lights and waters, but any abandoned drive-in theater that I know of is pretty dilapidated.
Well, and they're usually out off the immediate access highway areas, so
there's
be
no
driving.
easy way to get there.
The drive-in that I know, there's one out on the east side in the Speedway area, right? Is that still there?
Technically, it'd be the west side. It's on.
I'm
Tibbs.
sorry, west
It is
side.
still
Yeah,
there. It's still active.
West side.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically it'd be on the
The
west
only reason
side.
I tell you is that I went to go see the movie Shrek. And anyone that's listening, I hope you're never my family, but went to go see the movie Shrek, and we never saw the movie Shrek.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, is that what?
Just put it out there.
Is that how the little ones came about?
I think it was Shrek 2. No, I think it was Shrek 2. It was a double-headed movie. We got out of there, and how I drove home.
But that's a nice theater, though. That's a nice drive-in, right?
It's called Tibbs Drive-In, folks.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not in a great part of the neighborhood.
No, it's not.
The thing that crosses my mind, I guess, to your point, is it is by a lot of trucking companies, right? A lot of their docks are over there.
Right.
That one is, yeah.
But it's like today, it's raining outside. Those trucks, they pull in there. Yeah, there's gravel to get in.
Yeah.
And then you all park in the grass.
It's stuck, yeah.
Could you imagine the mud pit
Winter
after just 1 weekend of trucks parking there?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've talked about lately is,
Do they get a free movie?
I mean, what, you got the screen? You should, right?
there you go. Yes.
Redbox that some bitch for $1.25. Get it for a day and a half.
That'd be a
tonight's-
big cooler.
Tonight's movie's special presentation, Shrek.
Shrek 2 by Timmy D.
That's when you know things are going to be a good night.
You know the
Brown
Redbox
chicken, brown
things,
cow.
like, you know the one by Needlers. Have you ever heard this thing running? They have to air condition these things, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I walk by and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, that's a lot of energy for just that little rental thing. And I don't know who uses them. Do you use them?
We used to when we had a DVD player. Nowadays,
Yeah.
all the TVs, you don't.
You don't need them. Sorry.
You don't, but you do.
Yeah.
All right, come back to your story, Dave. Sorry.
No, I'm listening to you guys now.
And
My
folks,
screen-
I haven't been around these guys, so we just start getting on. This is what we talk about. Dave's always like, we're missing content. Well, this is the content we're missing because I haven't seen these guys in a long time, so we're just starting to bull crap.
Yeah.
We're not even
You
drinking.
can't
this
talk
morning.
before the
By
show.
the way, speaking of not drinking, I reached out to number 2. You guys know number 2.
the best number 2.
He's the only number 2 because
Right.
he can't be number 1.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're
Boom.
listening,
Boom.
I guess he got some crap at work about being number 2. So
Oh,
we
he
got
did?
wind of the podcast, and
Did he really?
now he's being told he's number 2.
Oh.
So you're welcome.
Ship's Gonna Happen comes through.
Old Bill number 2.
He
Yeah.
always was the best number 2.
You know what I told him last night? I said 99.99999% of people aren't even ranked. So at least you are.
Yeah,
It's true, right?
That is true.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's good to be mentioned.
But you'd want to be 1, though, wouldn't you?
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to be 1, Tony, but no one can even be number 5, right? So number 2 is pretty good.
Number 2's not bad.
No random person came up and told him he's number 2.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. And he hates the show now. I can't wait to get back on that show.
Oh, yeah.
We need to have him back. He's a good guy. Bill,
Yes.
Oh,
love
yeah.
him. Good
Yeah.
guy.
We've had him on twice.
Yep.
So
Back to the article.
Yeah. I feel like I've been
Hey,
derailed.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's all good.
Derailed. Oh, let's go on that.
Hey,
That's right.
Been another train
Yes.
derailment.
So the government has announced that they plan on putting $750 million over the next 3 years.
Enough
into
said.
Yeah, I know. Never
Oh
mind.
my God.
Yeah.
Once you said that, it ruined the
Shut
whole
up, Dave.
project to me.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I kind of lost interest after I read that. I mean, the concept is a good concept.
It
They're
is.
just not easy to get.
No, right.
You know,
And I don't know where, I mean, I can only think of 2 in the whole state. There's one in southern Indiana.
There's, you mean,
Drive-ins?
abandoned
Yeah.
drive-ins or regular drive-ins?
Abandons or drive or
Yeah, there's one at Mechanicsburg, just north of Lebanon. There's one, and then the Tibbs drive-through that Tim
Is
was
it-
talking about.
Is
That
that
is-
actually a band? That's the thing.
No,
Do you guys
no,
actually
no.
go on a Friday night?
No,
I haven't been in years.
I've never been to a drive-in movie.
Barnyard was the last one we saw.
I would tell you guys this. So I think driving.
It's actually really good.
I've been to probably half dozen across the country.
Wow.
Driving movie theaters are badass.
Yeah, I love them. It was one of the
You know,
funnest
you know
things to
how
do
much
as a kid.
traction they gained in 2020, right? When
Mhm.
the COVID was going down, I was like, oh, I stay in my car with my own family
Yeah.
and I can watch it.
Sure.
I made
They're
out
doing
with.
all the reruns. They're
Yeah.
doing the Top Guns, and
It's the first time I made out with a chick at a drive-in. Smoking the Bandit.
I'm just disappointed that she had her pants on. When you
Can we
did that.
clarify? Can we clarify what you just said? It's the first
Smokey?
time I made out with a chick at a
Yeah.
drive-in.
So
Just-
when's
I've
the first
only
time you
ever made out with a chick.
Never mind.
I've only ever made out with.
I just was
Not
asking
that there's
for
anything wrong with
clarification.
it. I don't have
No,
anything against
Just
it.
asking.
I
Can
prefer
you put on the top hat when you
females.
tell the story?
The fedora.
Yeah, the fedora.
So you say the Lebanon one's abandoned.
No.
Mechanicsburg.
No, Mechanicsburg. It is not. No.
So there's one down and towards Madison area.
Yeah.
That I go like hunting. I've never seen one there. To me, it looks abandoned, but the same token, they still have the screen up.
Yeah.
They only have one screen,
Right.
but it doesn't get any better. And I'm surprised that you haven't gone to more drive-in. The AMCs of the world, haven't
Right,
just said,
yeah,
you
it's
know
good
what?
stuff.
Let's buy the sale. But if you're going to put those as parking spots that the taxpayer has to put up, right? Because that's what they are.
Yep.
Unless you're going to put a pilot in there or
Mhm.
a Flying J or whatever it might be, a Buc-ee's or whatever it is nowadays.
No trucks at Buc-ee's.
Because if they buy those properties, they got to go through a bunch of tax stuff to get tanks put in, right? Now they're responsible for the rest of that land. They're responsible for any in 100 years from now. You know how many people are going to be sued because of these tanks put in at these abandoned
Leaking,
gas
yeah.
stations or
Yep.
whatever it might be.
Yep.
We have great technology, but imagine 100 years from now. So they got to buy these properties, take the risk, and then put them in. And like Tony's point, 100% of these are not on the beaten path.
Right.
Tibbs is probably the closest. I bet Tibbs is probably 3.5 miles off the highway over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you're in between 70 and 74
Right.
off of 465. And you got the train track bridge. It's only the clearance is like 12.6. So
Right.
you ain't getting those in there.
Good,
Mm-mm.
good point. Good point.
Right. I mean, so
Box trucks, maybe.
yeah,
Maybe.
Sprinter vans and stuff.
Sprinter vans and box truck parking only.
Could you imagine? I mean,
So I'm going to go, if you don't mind. I want to go back
Yeah.
to the comment about like Buc-ee's. Do you know Buc-ee's does not allow semis?
Where do they park
no,
at?
that's a lie.
No, it is not.
They have their own. Well, they have their own truck parking. The one I stopped by.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to. Anytime I've looked at a Buc-ee's, they always say no semi parking. So maybe there is.
They do say no semi, but they have Buc-ee's as a whole nother L. I mean, Buc-ee's buys 150 acres at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And 100 or 75 acres go to the cars, and then probably 50 acres go to the truckers.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm
there's a
proven
Buc-ee's
wrong.
coming to Indiana. Did you guys know
How
that?
do you spell Buc-ee's?
Bucees.
Bucees.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast.
I got a side note while you look this up because
Oh, wait. Here's what it is. Can you sleep in your car? Okay. There's no overnight parking extended.
There's sleazes in the car. What'd you say?
There's no overnight parking.
Well, they're open 24/7. You wouldn't really be overnight at their hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Technically, if you're claiming that you're open, you're always sunshine.
TripAdvisor says they'll force you to leave.
How?
yeah. So you're talking about overnight parking, though,
Yeah.
right? But not semis. That hasn't have anything to do with. I'm not sure.
Hit me up.
But anyway, never mind. Sorry.
To your point of overnight parking, there's a Marathon gas station out towards Shelby, Kentucky out there.
Mhm.
And
Shelby,
this thing
Kentucky,
used to
Alabama.
be, they didn't have a pisser. Because I remember I come back from the casino. They
What?
didn't have a pisser. The one out there by Shelbyville.
It's huge.
No, there's a tiny marathon out there on the north side of 74.
Yeah.
It's out. I mean, you thought it was the middle of nowhere 20 years ago, and I come back, and you stop by it, and you literally had to just piss by. You're like, no, we don't have no restrooms. You know the old bathrooms with the big old stick on it that 9,000 guys have touched. That's what they touched their little Peter
Yep.
and pissed on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have one of those. Now you can't get off the exit. There's truckers that are stopped, and I think it all comes down to the breaks and the
Right.
lunches, and
Right.
that happens to be a good spot for them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gonna do what the pilot has got to do up here. They're gonna tear this up. They could, if they made that a big truck stop, it'd be huge.
Sure.
And this little tiny marathon, it had 2 pumps.
Wow.
They didn't even have that diesel when I used to go.
Was one of the Shelbyville guys on that comes into the Great Divide?
Does he own that marathon? No, you're
No,
talking about the
okay.
one over here that
Okay.
he sold.
Okay. All right.
That
my
they
bad.
turned into one that's got neon lights. You guys know the marathon. They got all the flashing lights and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
CBD, you name it. They sell the good. Yeah.
So just recently, they put up a bunch in the business park in Lebanon. They just put up a whole bunch of no parking signs all over the place. So you're not managing like early in the morning when I go into work. I'm not weaving through a bunch of semis. But I used to play a game mentally in my head of wondering what the liquid substance was right outside the driver's side door. Is that coffee, tea, or pee? So,
Cold
but
coffee.
I was
David.
never gonna,
Cold coffee.
Yeah.
never gonna-
ice cold.
never gonna stop to
Yeah.
find out what it is.
You
But I'm like,
you should either
every single time.
A, knock, which means you're standing in it, or B, put your finger on the ground and smell it and find out what it is.
I'll pass on both.
Bam.
But they're strict on it now. The other morning I went to go grab lunch or breakfast or whatever, and there was a cop. There was
It
a
means
dude.
dinner at 8 a.m.
Yes, there was a cop that actually had. There was a driver that was there parked sleeping, and he pounded on the door, and made him move.
I think
So-
you want to say he had him pulled over, but he was already pulled over. I
I'm-
didn't know how to word it.
So I'm really surprised. I wonder what I'm curious of is if he just automatically ticketed the driver or he made him move. He definitely was gone when I got back, so he made him move. But I wonder if you're just going to ticket the driver and kind of like leave it like kapow, or you do knock on the door and say, "Look, move, or I'm going to give you a ticket." Just wondering. I don't know how you go about
I
it.
think it's whatever his marching orders are probably that day.
Well,
And it's all how you treat people too,
yes, sir.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Every
It
instance.
seems like the police and police authorities and state police, whatever, seem to be very lenient toward drivers pulled over parked for the most part. Because you see them now. Heck, I got off an off ramp the other day, and I was like 15 of them pulled off on the shoulder all the way up to the exit. I'm like,
Is that wrong?
hell?
Is that legal or not?
I didn't see
Yeah,
him
it
getting
is if-
ticketed.
It's just as legal as you pull over. You got a flat tire and you pull over if there's a no parking. That's why a lot of those exits say no parking.
Yeah.
Kind of brings this to a topic we talked off air before, was the Greyhound bus in Illinois that just smoked 3 semis that were basically parked on the side of the road on an on ramp, killed 3 people, injured like 18 people. And when I say smoked, if you guys saw that Greyhound,
Yeah.
the whole right hand side
Gone.
just smoked. Yeah, I mean, because it just rode the first semi all the way down. And hey, I shouldn't say lucky, but lucky none of the semi drivers were hurt. Right. And it sucks for the passengers, right? They're probably asleep.
Yeah.
And this driver, who knows, just, and that's why they have the no parking sign, right? I mean, that's why they don't want them. That's why we need the drive-ins or something, to circle back to all of that is we need more parking since they put in these breaks and lunches. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like Tim mentioned earlier, that we talked off air that where was that pilot at right here? Was it Highway 9? Is that what it was?
No, it's not. It's Mount Comfort Road. It's where the largest Walmart DC is. It's a .com. Yeah.
So they're building a new pilot out that way, and hopefully there's plenty of parking there.
They're building a new pilot on top of the pilot.
Old pilot, yeah.
So pilot owned the ground originally, and it was a big ordeal. And the city, all they did was say, okay, you can leave your tanks, run lines. We won't make you move those. But didn't give them any breaks or nothing. They just said, and pilot knows how big it's going to be.
Sure.
So like, screw it. I don't care. It's going to cost me, I think it's $130 million project.
Oh my gosh.
And they charge to park. So
pilot does?
They do.
Wow.
Like,
why do you do that?
Like 50. It's beyond me. I don't, anybody listening, any semi drivers explain why they pay to park. Yeah.
But
it's like $15
to park in the parking spots to sleep. And
yeah. And they're
making $15 on the showers
and you have to pay in advance, or most of them you do. You got to pay.
Is it all app?
You're
waving your phone. That's what it's asking. It's an app thing.
Yep.
Wow.
Hey, I know for sure. Jeremy out there, who was just in Oregon, I guess earlier this week. I'd be curious. So, what is park? What do you guys describe park? Is that longer than 2 hours?
I'd say 8. That's what I would say.
So you could get away with a 6-hour nap?
That's my opinion. I mean,
I don't get 6 hours now at nighttime.
Like when Tony mentioned,
just asking.
Like when Tony mentioned earlier that there's no overnight parking at Buc-ee's. It takes you. You know how long it takes to go through a Buc-ee's? You know, if the rest of the family, or if you say my family's in there, you could take a 4-hour nap in there and get away with it. Just saying.
Yeah.
I just wish Buc-ee's would be like the old drive-in places used to eat. They'd roll out on roller skates and give me something to eat at the gas pump.
In a tray.
You know what I'm saying?
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't it be badass?
That would be
That's
cool.
a great idea. Yeah, it would be badass.
Man, we've been plugging Buc-ee's.
Right. So what other industry news?
Not sponsored. That's it.
What other
I lost interest. You got
anything else?
No.
The industry seems to be plugging along.
I apologize for getting everyone off topic, guys.
I did have a driver the other day. We have quite a few of our customers that just come in and pick up their own stuff, and they said that. We had the fleet. One of the fleet guys for that said that they hired outside sources that were doing it, like whatever specific runs they were doing, for half of what they were doing them for. So just rates are coming down on the truckload side.
Let me ask you guys.
Fuel is up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let me ask you this, guys. Is it legal to haul marijuana/hemp?
Wow.
What is your personal? Just shoot from the hip here.
Some carriers have it written that they don't.
Some carrier. I asked, is it legal? I didn't ask what the carrier.
No, I think it's legal. Yeah.
You think it's legal to haul marijuana or hemp?
I think it would be legal.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you think it's legal?
Because for medical purposes.
Yeah. There's approved carriers for it. I think there's approved.
The federal law states it's illegal. The federal law.
Right.
They can go in any of these states. It was like 18 states or whatever that's approved it. And that's outside the medical stuff. I'm just
right.
Sure. Yep.
I think it's 15. The federal law still can go and shut them all down and arrest every person.
Could. Yep.
Correct. So federally, these truck drivers are federal
breaking the law.
Well,
breaking the law.
That's why I said, is it legal to haul? In my opinion,
no, it's not. But
federally.
some states
To me, you can get charged with crossing the border with an intent to distribute at one point. Does that make sense?
they need to decriminalize it so they don't get.
Well, they have. Here's why they haven't. They criminalize it, in my opinion. Again, no business in it. They haven't, because the federal government hasn't figured out how they could test if you're under influence at the time.
Right away, yeah.
Alcohol, they can
Boom.
tell. Federally, they haven't been able to, because they know there's billions sitting on the tax money of it. But
Sure.
It's a good question.
So I had a customer. And the reason I bring it up is I had a customer ask me, literally said, "Hey, do y'all haul hemp?" And we're in Indiana. Like we're the last
haul
one.
hemp.
We're the last ones to legalize anything. And I'm
Right.
thinking to myself, like,
We can't do alcohol on Sundays, right?
I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And so he goes through this, and so I'm doing all kinds of research. So I kind of sent it up the chain, and the chain's like, "Well, is it legal?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it legal? Like, where's it going? Are all those states legal? You know?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, it's not my job. I ain't gonna put a driver in that situation." Well, then I'm being told it's the Delta 8. You know, that they're selling at the old Marathon gas station with the lights in it called Delta 8. Apparently that's legal in Indiana. So I started looking it up. I'm like, all right. Well, come to find out it's Delta 9. I don't know what the difference is, but there's Delta 9.
1 is the difference.
Yes. Plus 1. Correct. Thank you for noticing.
Boom.
But if you turn that upside down, it would be -2.
There you go.
There you go. So
Delta 6.
So there's a place in
Thanks,
Indiana. There's a place in Indiana, folks, that makes a seltzer
Okay.
that has hemp in it. CBD. Delta
Come on,
9.
alcohol drink? Really?
I can't make this up, dude. You think I just pulled this out of my?
No, I
just made the
believe
whole story
you.
up?
You've never
Sold at Buc-ee's.
Yes.
sold at Buc-ee's.
No, they're not.
Well,
But you can't buy it at
Not
8 p.m.
They wanted to ship it to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, my boss told me 0.03 is. So there's a Farmland Act. I don't know if you guys have seen this. 2018. It's called the Farmland Act, but it goes by a different name. But that's what it's referred to. And on their website, it literally says, and I looked up the whole Farmland Act, 0.03%. You're good.
At THC levels?
Right. So the dog will sniff it in the trucks and you get busted. They go to test it. If it's 0.03, which isn't regulated by the FDA, so you don't know if you're, you 0.031,
right.
you're screwed.
How would you know?
But on their website, like, oh yeah, we comply with the Farmland Act. Like,
Did you try any of this?
No, I don't.
I'm kidding.
I don't know. I'm getting a case tomorrow. But damn it, Tony, why do you got to expose me? So it's 0.001. It come to find out, and so I got a customer ask me. I'm like, brother. So then I'm like, hold on. I remember seeing some stuff. So sure enough, yeah. So the company I work for has chose to not
to do it. Yeah,
right. That's a company policy.
That's ours
that doesn't
too.
mean it's legal or this or that. And so I'm like, hey man, we don't haul this. So he calls me on the phone. He said, well, I know it says you don't, but would you? I was like, dude, you don't know. I need the business bad, but I mean,
yeah.
Here's what he goes, what if I just classify it as beverages? And you know what I tell him? I said, listen.
He might be able to get away with that.
I said, you classify whatever. I said, because legally it comes back to the shipper to classify exactly what they're doing. So you must classify. That's on the shipper, just like hazmat. You got the hazmat wrong, it comes back to the shipper.
Right.
Everything rolls back to the shipper because we're signing a legal binding agreement. So if you say beverages and you don't clarify alcohol, you don't clarify hemp or all this stuff, and that driver's hauling that and he pulls out that bill of lading and we got that bill of lading on fire, that's going to come back to the shipper. And if you got rid of their bill of lading and you used your own, you did what you had to do. I said legally, and all going to roll back up the chain. It ain't going to come on him or her. And I said, so you do whatever you want to do, but I will just tell you legally, it says we can base off this Farmland Act and what they have stated. Company policy states we will not haul. You do you.
Wow.
And I left it there. I mean, because at that point, I'm not the one picking it up.
Right.
I'm not the one paying for it. I'm not the one filling out the paperwork. I'm doing nothing. Right? I'm an outside party at that point. That's how I left it. Now, whatever I mean, and I called Indiana State Police. I called the post on 21st Street. And so I got to some lady and she's like, "Oh, I think you're fine." I'm like, "Okay. I think I'm fine here in the States." I said, "What about if I go to Oklahoma?" So I got the federal USD DOT number. I didn't call because I didn't have to get that far. Because I was just like, all right. Because during all that transpiring, I got the company policy said we don't. So I took a snippet of that. I sent it to him. Then he called me, and the story I just told is exactly what the conversation was. And I'm like, I don't need to call the US DOT anymore, but I got their number. In case y'all need it, call me up.
That's interesting.
So I almost, if my oldest daughter would answer the phone right now, I'd call her. She's a general manager of a dispensary in New Hampshire. How do you get your stuff?
Well,
it's legal to haul it in the state. They grow it in the state.
Yeah.
They can haul it in the state
Right.
with permits from the state, which is more money.
Yeah.
It's just like Colorado. So like Colorado, I remember when they started growing their shit, they started popping in from like Washington and stuff, and the police were sitting on the border pulling people over because it's illegal.
Yeah,
because that's a attempt to distribute because it's a state policy.
right.
The federal government gets you for everything, so it has to be grown in the state and sold in the state. If that makes sense.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It'll all change, I'm sure, down the road. But so
once they learn how to test it.
Speaking of what you're saying, though, something I found out recently is, and I know we'll talk about the White House update, but did you
get into the White House?
Did you
get to the cocaine?
Okay, we'll get into the White House. We'll get
get to the powder.
We're on the topic. We're just from one drug to another.
Here we go.
That's all the same.
Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen drug whatever. I don't know.
All right. So
at least mine had to do with the trucks. Now he's going to cocaine in the White House.
Well, but it's something I heard it was on a Rogan podcast. There's only one company allowed in America to handle cocaine, and they legally handle it every day. It's Coca-Cola.
Is this a myth?
No,
I've
it's
heard
true.
that Coca-Cola had cocaine in it.
They have it. They're the only company on record today known, a publicly traded company that has the right by the government to handle cocaine. So
is it currently in there?
I don't think it currently is. I think it used to be, but why are they? But it doesn't say that they still utilize it. They still have the right to.
I see what you're saying.
I was shocked by that. I was like, that's a hardcore drug. And then I found out that cocaine was in Coca-Cola in the 1800s and early 1900s. I always thought
this was a myth. I've heard that for years.
No, it's true. It's true. I was shocked. And Rogan had Jamie looking it up as his assistant. They were popping it up. But anyways, White House
podcast, by the way.
Cocaine update. You guys heard about this?
I agree.
You guys heard about this?
Not since we've talked about it.
I want to know who's the bitch that didn't freaking put it all down. I don't know why they left anything on there.
And all of that,
what a lightweight, right?
All of that surveillance.
If that was a beer, it'd have been gone, right?
It could have been as long as this floor, and I would have. If I'm in the White, I can't do no more.
Yeah.
So that's why I knew it wasn't Hunter's, because he would have finished it. Never mind.
I don't know. Go ahead.
All of that surveillance. How does somebody not know?
Come on, what do you got? What's your article?
So here's what happened. So I was researching this because you guys know I'm political, right? I like politics. So I'm reading this thing, and the Secret Service comes
1% Indian too.
Yeah, one Cherokee. So I'm reading this thing, and like I'm thinking to myself, if you're in the White House, so where they changed the story on where they found it like 3 times, right? Different areas. So now they found it in a skiff. In a skiff.
What's a skiff?
I heard that.
A skiff is a secret place where you go into to store your stuff temporarily. It can be used for that or to hold secret information.
So my anus is a skiff then, or just
you can call it whatever you want.
I've seen your anus, so I know it's not a skiff.
We would call it. It's a large skiff.
A large gift?
I want to hide something up in my skiff. Anyway.
But so the skiff is a place where you store stuff temporarily or secret information, whatever. So the only people that have access to this is the Secret Service. So
So let me ask you this. You gotta tell me there's no one in the Secret Service freaking getting down on cocaine.
but I wouldn't do it. They wouldn't hide theirs in a skiff. They wouldn't do that because
Where would they hide it?
They would probably in their meeting rooms in the White House.
Why is this a big story? Just wondering.
Well, here it is. So
Because
it's
someone's doing lines of coke in the White House like it's on a movie.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And there's so much security and all that. How do they get cocaine that is federally illegal? That's why it's a big story.
Yeah.
White House or the Secret Service said it was a high grade of cocaine too. But anyways,
Well, yeah.
so the ending of the story is so the House gets pissed off at the Secret Service in the White House because they can't find out whose it is. So then they meet under secret environment to discuss it.
On a line of cocaine.
Yep. And probably gave them the cocaine. And then
Try it out.
they probably
See
all
if this
did
is
it.
yours.
Yeah, dude.
What's
Hey,
wrong to you?
is this any good? Could you guys try this?
Right.
So then here's the shocker.
Come on.
Secret Service says they found it 3 times since 2022. 3 times and marijuana on top of it.
Okay.
And it all kind of correlates to around when a certain person's at the White House. So it's
and I don't even want to go down that road. That's a whole different road. But my question is, how does first off, that's some cojones to bring it in.
you got to be like,
Either you're bypassing security
yeah.
or you're bypassing security and David's what'd you call it?
What's that?
What'd you call your sphincter? What'd you call it?
My sift.
Your sift. Yeah. The
Either you're
skiff.
bypassing the inside
shift.
of that, and why we don't have a way that at the airport you can get scanned for that, and we don't do that to get into the White House.
Yeah.
They do.
Or you're bypassing.
The only people that have access to the area
It's in your skiff.
the only people that have access to this is White House staff members and family to that skiff. It's not a skiff where,
Bring this on Ray Jean Paul, whatever her name is.
oh,
Don't bring it on her.
she won't answer it. But yeah, it's just
She'll blink at you.
Just a bizarre story.
The answer.
yeah.
So the headline I see on the story says the Secret Service ends their investigation.
Yeah, they ended it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
ended.
okay.
That's
They
all
did
I
end
got.
it.
That's what I'm asking. Where
Yeah.
Tony got all of his news
Okay.
at.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They ended it by saying they can't. Well, I didn't conclude that.
I
but
heard
they said
didn't
they
know
can't
where it
find.
came from.
That's what they're saying.
There's no way we don't have security. inside
But
this.
what I'm saying is they admitted to the House
Not at the White House.
that it's 3 times since 2022 that they found it.
So we
Okay.
got one or two props. So if it's been 3 times, that tells you right there they've never told anybody.
And the only
'Cause
reason
they're embarrassed.
and the only reason we found out about this one, Tim,
Was a reporter.
anthrax. They thought it was anthrax at the beginning. Someone reported I saw anthrax. So that's the only reason we know
So,
about it.
I hope y'all get anthrax. I got shots for them. They hurt.
Mhm.
I'm taking pills for them. I can't get it, so good luck on that. But so there is no way. All we're doing is embarrass ourselves to the world. Then, if we don't have enough security to figure out someone's bringing cocaine in there,
I think they know.
I-
I think they know.
you can think all you want. All I'm saying is they announce they don't know,
Right.
which is embarrassing to the world.
It is.
Mhm.
We can focus on they do know and are corrupt, but the bigger scope of this is the world picture, which is we have no clue how they got that in there.
Right.
Was it 2021 when that person showed up and Secret Service like come on into the dinner, the state dinner or something, and never had access and all that, got kicked out halfway through, finally figured it out.
I didn't hear
Had
about
been
that.
there for 6 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, been inside the dinner. Shook hands with the president. I don't know which president it was. It was either Trump or Biden. Shook hands in the whole 9, hugs and everything.
Mm.
Was never on the list.
Wow.
And we tell the world that.
Yeah. It's
That's
unbelievable.
embarrassing.
It's
Yeah.
totally embarrassing.
Yeah.
Hey, Putin, sounds like all you got to do, dog, is just show up and you can walk right on in.
Putin's in the White House. Oh my God. So we got that. All right. So what in that? So the Secret Service ended
What's
up.
our last topic? Because I know I've taken you guys.
UFOs,
I haven't seen
man.
these guys in a long time, so we've been
Yeah,
going on. Let me hear about the
UFOs.
UFOs.
All right. So recently,
We're doing cocaine.
I thought go ahead, Tony. I thought I read a headline in the local area where Indiana is going to decommission some UFO evidence? or
Yeah,
Because
so-
his drone goes so high
so-
and flies all over the place,
Right.
it's become a UFO. That's
so
what
our
he says.
one of the Congress members, Andre Carson,
Okay.
represents the east side of Indy.
Mm-hmm.
He got a job because of his mother, just so you guys know.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
There was a
Hey,
bullshit
it's all about
deal.
who you know, not what you know.
Right.
That's all you guys need to know.
So he's on the committee, Rubio. There's a bunch of Congress and senators on this, but yeah, he's a leader in it. He's one of I think he's the second in charge of that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they want to declassify all the UFO information.
For
It's
the life
become-
of me, I've never understood why it's classified in the first place.
That has been a part of the crux of the whole mystery. And so
Because you didn't discover it, so you don't get the right to know. And that's
there-
America.
there's a
Is
great
that fair?
that-
Boom.
If you
Well
can't,
said.
if you,
No,
if
I
you're
agree.
like, what is going on? All I hear is this blah 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 over your neighbor's fence. You don't have the right to tear the neighbor's fence down and look at it, right?
Right.
That's America. So now the government's using that right, and you're upset about it. Now you're paying the government.
Absolutely not upset about it. I could give two poops less.
I
I'm
think-
just curious to why it's
Why it is.
classified.
Here's why I think it's classified. This is my opinion.
Go ahead.
Opinion. We're on opinion
Mhm.
radio.
Yes.
It's classified because they ain't figured the fuck out yet. And they want to make sure that everyone around the world understands that we have the ability to find them and figure it out if we want to. So if we tell them, hey, we figured all this shit out, or tell the American people, and we just give them an inch and we take a mile, now the world sits there and is like, okay, they figured this out. And maybe they've got other UFOs and they figured out more than that. Now all of a sudden, we're behind the curve. Does that make sense? Now we're behind China and Russia.
Mhm.
Right.
Or whoever. Obviously, Russia's getting exposed how weak they really are.
Mhm.
But that's why you keep things classified, because we never want to show our cards.
Mhm.
And even though it's your money, if we show our cards, as much as you're curious, it also creates more, believe it or not, economical. How can I say that? Economy. The demand is you want to know, so you're going to continue to buy the UFO stories. You're going to continue to read them. You're going to buy the gear, right? So they're helping the economy by not telling you, and they're also making the world scared that hey, they may have UFOs, they may not.
Mhm.
That's how you do it, and it's all on your tax time. So my question to you is: would you like us to just lay our cards down and show everybody everything?
I still don't understand why it's classified.
No,
To
I
me, it's
Donald
just-
Trump never
so
understood
if-
classification either. But
again,
that's a whole different conversation.
Again, if you're booking by here and you're UFO, to me, we're a flyby planet. Just like keep going, nothing to see there. I don't.
Not
this-
our planet. No, not ours. Not North America. No.
they have been addressing the Congress and Senate over this. I don't know if you guys have been following that at all.
So hit us with it. What do you got?
So here's what I think. Me
That's my
personally,
opinion.
my opinion, strictly my opinion. So there's a guy named Stephen Greer, Greer, who's a scientist, doctor. He's very well known. He's part of all this. Then you have these other guys out there promoting it. Essentially, the story goes, and that's what the Congress is trying to get out, is the Roswell, 1947. That story has changed on our government's side like 5 times in history on what actually was found there.
Mhm.
So the theory is that something did actually crash, and they reverse engineered it. And a lot of the UFOs we see is us. It's our government doing this stuff. So there was a major discovery in gravitational force in 1957, and they've kept that secret. And a lot of these UFOs, and I go back to when I was in the military, and I told you this, guys, before. It's not classified. The little tiny helicopters that would fly around,
Right.
they were not. This was in the late 80s. These were drones back then. We had them.
Mhm.
So we didn't see that till later, much like a decade later, right? So in the military, they would always tell us, I used to have to handle a lot of classified stuff, that what you see today is 10 years out of date. So whatever the military is showing you today, it's not even what we got.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's like 10 years out of date.
I couldn't
Yeah.
agree with. That's the least.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Could be more. So, so I think some of it's a mixed bag where it's us, we've re-engineered stuff and we're just flying around and using it as like Tim said, as kind of an economical
It's clickbait
thing. Yeah. And so we don't really want to tell people that we've done that because then you got to explain, because here's something, think about
you got to explain how you talk alienness.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
they're
it's
talking
such
alienness to you talk alienness back. Now we got a half dozen people that speak alienness,
Yeah.
and they're like,
But
how
then
do you
how-
speak
yeah.
alienness?
But how many people are speaking Timonese is what I want to know.
Right. Well, I will tell you, I got a lot of close friends, and I'm gaining more patrons on that Timonese as we move through the world.
But it's kind of a taboo topic, right? You're kind of
But
crazy if you believe in them.
You're
Crazy.
just like the government. Do you say we have aliens?
I think we found stuff that maybe got through our solar system and landed on Earth. There may be, I mean,
on Earth.
I
What do
think
we
so.
do with the people?
Uh.
So if it landed in your backyard, did they capture you too, and then you just disappear?
no, I don't think that's. I think that's part of the myth.
Come take me.
I think because here's one thing to
You
think
heard
of.
about the Vegas guys? Like I had these.
Well, that's the story I was going to tell you about.
Hit me.
Yeah. So
Sorry to lead you. I just
no,
keep stepping on your toes.
no, it was
No,
great.
you
It
leading
was good
right
stuff.
in.
Yeah, it was. Hey,
I haven't
you,
seen these guys in a long
you
time.
threw me a soft pitch. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
you should have seen what the alien threw us though.
so recently, June 19th, Las Vegas police go to a man's backyard where aliens supposedly landed earlier this month. So Las Vegas police have placed cameras in the backyard of a family's home where they claim aliens crashed last month. Now, the police say they saw something too. Crash.
It's on a body cam.
Yeah, they saw it. You can see it on the camera. Nobody found the aliens though. But according to this family, it was in their backyard and this thing was 8 foot tall.
The alien was? Or
The alien was.
Well, you got basketball players that big.
Yeah. They got an alien basketball team.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So they're sticking to this story. And this family's kind of gone under the underground. Yeah.
Hold on. So I don't know. Did you guys ever watch Live PD?
Oh yeah.
Every
Yeah.
now and again.
Yeah. I used to like
Nye
it.
County.
Yeah.
That's Nye County out there in Vegas, right?
Mhm.
You guys ever watched Nye County?
No, never seen that one.
No, it's called, but Nye County. Look up Nye County Live PD or
Mhm.
cops or whatever. There's some nut jobs out there.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So that's that, you know, and I'm not, hey, I ain't calling no one's claim false.
Mhm.
This
All
family.
I'm telling you is Nye County, there's some nut jobs. And between 3 of the cases you're seeing one night on live PD,
Right.
you might be able to count 2 teeth.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
I'm just putting it out there.
This family.
Y'all judge how you want to judge out there.
They called the police after aliens supposedly crashed in their backyard. Members were recorded saying that they saw an 8-foot person with big eyes. This is not a human. Police body camera footage also
woke
showed
up.
something falling from the sky. According to the sources' investigation, law enforcement are not treating the incident as a hoax and have placed cameras in case the aliens return.
Of course, that just makes them happy because people
So-
are. Never mind.
So these
Mushrooms
people,
are good.
as much as everybody has their damn phone in their hand, these people didn't have their damn phones in their hand taking video of whatever happened.
That's my whole thing about
Not when the aliens grab the phones first, David.
Silly me.
that's the whole alien thing though, right?
What
It's-
truck driver has? All right, of all people, we're in the right audience, right? The truck drivers have got to see something.
Well, sure.
well, that's what was
That's
my
the
next
first
thing.
people I would poll.
Was we need truck drivers. If you've seen a UFO, please contact the Ship's
All
Gonna
the
Happen.
front dash cams and
Yeah,
all the
that-
everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
you would
Yeah.
think, but
A shooting star is not an alien, by the way, folks.
Yeah, all right.
to
Yes.
David's point,
All
though,
right.
it's always some grainy, out of focus. It's like it's just you know.
It's because the aliens know what our Wi-Fi is and they mess
Yeah.
it all up.
Yes.
Here's what: if I ever see one, I'm walking away from it.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
I
walking.
could care less, dude, because it's probably us.
You're not going to try to. All right, let me ask you.
No.
All right, hold on. That,
No,
that should be a random topic.
No.
Let me ask you this real quick.
The whole show's been a random topic. Just so-
No, we've got into all the articles. We've tied them all to them, believe it or not. You're walking away. So you're
I
not
don't
going to
want
try to
anything
talk
do
to
with
the
it.
alien
No, I flip it
like
off
it's a
and walk away.
6-month-old little infant. You won't say, oh,
No,
my name is, you're tapping yourself.
No.
My name is, you're not doing
there's
that.
radiation and shit coming off this
How do
thing.
you
I am
know?
getting the
How
hell
do you
away
know?
from it because there's been people reported that have
What-
gotten close
What
to
if,
it.
what if it shows up and it's just a skeleton of M&Ms? You know what I mean? Just a big old body of M&Ms.
Mhm.
Yeah, if it's
Hey, and what if he drops down? He says, "What if the alien?
You can retire a millionaire. I'm getting on
No.
board.
Hold on. Alien drops down your backyard. Just hoverboards down.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what the is going on? I don't have my phone.
Tell him nobody's
and out of
home.
nowhere, he goes, "Hi, Tony." You're walking away from that.
I'm like, dude, my name's not Tony. I'll see you later, bro.
You're walking away from that.
I don't. Yeah, I'm
No, you're
walking.
not.
I am
I don't
walking
believe you
away
at all.
from it.
You're pissing yourself.
I don't want you to invade my ship.
I might send my drone up.
Whatever.
Might send my drone up to talk to him.
There you go.
Honey, grab Piper. I don't know what's going on right now, but we got to figure out what. It's like the Field of Dreams, right? When those guys come out of the cornfield,
Yeah.
and then they melt away. That's what it is. You're telling me you're walking.
You
away?
you guys ought to. You guys
David,
following
are you
it though?
walking
at all?
away? They show up in Lebanon's backyard.
I'm walking up to him.
You
You are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say, do you want to inspect my shift?
Oh my God! Do you have a skiff I could look at?
A skiff.
Oh
Whatever
my
it was.
God.
And lucky for him, you never wear pants, so
That's
he's
right.
already in.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God!
gonna go the Winnie the Pooh outfit with
So-
just the top, no under britches.
So let's go around the horn then. So David, what is your personal opinion on UFOs?
Or they don't exist.
Okay, Tim.
So hold on, I'm gonna go back to David. So UFO, let's all know what UFO stands for, right?
They call them UAP'S now.
Identified flying object.
Yeah.
They don't exist as in we
From a different planet, they don't exist.
You think it's us?
So you think? So,
Do you think it's us?
I agree.
I've
think
never seen anything to make
Okay.
me.
To
want
David's
it,
point,
so.
I kind of believe him. I think what it is dying satellites that burn up as they fly back down.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
You know how much shit's
plausible.
up there? Excuse my
Oh
language.
yeah, no,
You know how much
100%.
shit's
They call
up
it
there?
junk.
Yeah.
There's a whole
A junk
belt
belt
of junk. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Got
So,
a junk
but
belt too.
so unidentified flying objects. I'm with David. I don't believe that. I think there are identified flying objects that they will not tell you about,
Sure.
and they could be different spy planes and whatnot. I think it's all human created.
That's what I think. Most part.
Why is Roswell restricted? What's the restricted part of Roswell? Why
That's
is that?
well. That's where there's a whole story behind that. That's where the U-2 spy plane, stealth. That's where all that came from. So, real quick story about that because I know this because I had read the article when I was in the military. So, when the Russians launched Sputnik, the satellite, it was the first satellite in space. That's what they were zone. They wanted it to go over Area 51 because their spies had told them we're building shit out there. So we would actually take the engineers there would actually cut weird shaped cardboard like planes, and they would make them huge because the satellite doesn't know it's just getting a shadow figure of it, and they would run out. They knew like at 12:31 to like maybe 12:42 that satellite was going to be over. So they would take cardboard cutouts of weird design planes like UFO type shit, and they would put it on a pole and stick it up. And the Russians were taking pictures of this, and then our spies would feed information that we're working on new developments.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they would backdoor channel to their spies. They, oh yeah, they're working on shit. And we had double agents saying, yeah, oh yeah. So a lot of it was kind of a mirage, but we did develop the stealth and U-2 spy plane. Stealth fighter bomber was designed there.
Oh, okay.
And the stealth is old news, right?
Yeah, right. So we saw that in
They
the
had the stealth in the-
90s,
Yeah, I
but
was
that
gonna say
was
the
like
Gulf War, they had the
50s
stealth.
they had it because the U-2 spy plane was
Again,
stealth.
You said 10 years. I was thinking 30 years.
probably, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, listen.
I was going to say, I bet that most of the people think that Roswell area is restricted because of UFO stuff.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
So I
question.
would
Good
tell
point.
you,
Yeah.
the Area 51.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
know a guy, and they take an hour and a half bus trip.
To get there, yeah.
They got a whole parking lot outside.
People fly in too.
and everything's blacked out when they go in. So you only go basically when you get there, you're basically underground, and you're allowed to go out to your department, whatever that is.
Oh,
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
so you're bringing them by bus loads, and it's probably 500 people a day, right? And these buses make 3 trips, so you only get three times to get on. It's just enough seats, and you get on, you get off, and it's It's underground and it's there. So
It's not a submersible.
No, well, it's underground.
not unless it wants to explode.
But
Right.
Tim, you're right, Co, because there's a guy that claimed he worked there, Bob Lazar, who's a big UFO guy.
Yeah.
So, and he's right because it's been researched and looked up. There's people that live in California and they fly into Roswell, and those planes are not. They don't have like a code on them when they come in, so the air traffic controllers don't really know that they're what plane they are. So they got a name on the plane. Somebody looked the name up, and it's owned by the government. The plane,
Well,
airline.
you know what? Here's my thing. Americans be as curious as they want. And you can talk all the crap. The government should hold all this information. Our government holds 1/10 of whatever everyone else's government holds.
Yeah,
That's what makes us free.
Sure.
We're also, you can bitch about your freedoms, but we're 1/10 of what everyone else does on the laws and restrictions.
Right.
So sometimes it's shut your mouth and be glad you're defended because people are scared that they don't know what we know that we don't know. Shut your mouth and enjoy that chess piece. You're giving up your rook, right? You're giving up your rook or your castle or whatever they called it. You know, I don't know but your chess pieces. When you start saying, "I want more freedoms," we don't have enough, or I want to know this information. You're giving up your chess pieces one pawn at a time,
right.
And at some point, you need to hold your big dogs back, and that's why I'm good with not knowing shit and wishing I did know everything.
So let me ask you this, both of you. So if the government comes to you and says there's aliens and we've got to unite to fight these aliens, you would think what?
We live in Indianapolis, and I got nowhere to go. They ain't coming for me. Go ahead, David. What do you got, Circle City?
Yeah. Somebody can. Yeah.
He's a
Circle
CLO.
City.
There's now hiring signs all over the place. Put them to work.
There's hiring. Hey, we need workers.
Seriously,
It'd be a new form of immigration. Aliens from other planets. Anyway,
They would know. Would they be illegal immigrants,
Oh,
or would they be illegal aliens?
they own the universe, right? So would they be? That's a good question.
Why do they own the universe? 'Cause
Maybe they don't
landed here?
own it, but they're already from the universe, so they're not illegal.
What if
right?
they live on planet Sun? SUN. By the way.
Those dudes would be bright.
They
You couldn't
would.
see them.
That's
You'd be
right.
like, whoa, dude, burning retinas. Whoa.
Could you imagine they land in Oklahoma and heat it the whole planet?
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh, the tree huggers would go nuts.
Yep.
Anyway,
Global warming, real quick.
that's UFO stuff for you guys.
I gotta get rolling.
All right, man.
If you want me to,
All right, David, hit us with.
Just one more thing. Just one more, or whatever. I want to make, even though Todd Bean won't come on the podcast,
Todd
I'd like to
Bean!
make Todd Bean a Ship's Gonna Happen Hall of Famer. Congratulations. Congratulations on your retirement, Todd. He retired the end of this. He retired
only way he
June
gets out if he
30th,
shows in
or-
person.
Yeah. there
We'll
we-
get him on, maybe on a phone call.
And he worked many years at Roadway, finished at Hub Group, and he's just a really good guy. And I want to wish
I
him the
can't believe
best in
he's
his
retired.
retirement.
He's young, ain't he?
63,
63, 64?
62, 63.
Yeah, something like that.
He probably looks 52.
He was the last guy I knew or known that got the roadway pension
Mm.
before he left.
Does
It
Tom?
was during that time. Yeah. Huh?
I was just wondering if Tom gets the roadway pension.
Tom who?
Hendricks.
Oh, he's yellow. They probably had something for those guys.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. Roadway had pensions and they got I think they turned them into 401ks or whatever, something like that, but matched them. I had to move mine over.
Todd Bean was. I mean, he's been in the industry for what, 35
Oh,
years?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Grew up in
in
Zionsville.
the 80s.
I always call him the old. He's tall, folks.
yeah.
What's he?
6'3",
6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Skinny,
Runs.
good guy.
Yeah.
Does he run?
Yeah, it works out.
Don't know why, but
Well,
he
he
does.
he walks and I run and we keep up with each
He's a
other.
good
There we
golfer
go.
too.
Yep.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Got the big long swing.
he's pretty decent. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so he's off to retirement. Thanks for bringing that up, David.
Mhm.
Good stuff.
What's your random thought? Hold on.
That was Todd. Was my random thought.
This
So,
this is how bad it's been, folks. I ain't been in here since he ain't talked about the 70-65 split. How was the drive?
good, but I saw a sign coming in that July the 20th, they're going to close 65 South right there at that split to 70. Didn't they just fix that?
Yeah.
What are you closing it for again?
It's been so much
Here's
construction,
my bitch,
man.
is I don't know if you've been down there in the traffic.
It's no better.
It's worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've literally slammed on my brakes harder than I ever have. They did nothing to improve traffic flow. They may have put new concrete down,
Right.
bless their hearts,
Right.
but you don't shut an entire city down for 2 years and not improve traffic flow.
Thank you. Yep. That's
Well,
exactly right.
and then it's
Unbelievable. The federal government gave the money. Unbelievable. My tax money, state and federal, went to that. I'm so disappointed.
100% right.
well. How about you go right this way for 20 years, and then they switch it to now you go that way and you're going left.
I can adjust
What
to
the
all
hell?
that. And now Meridian Street, you can't get off. You come from Sam.
Ridiculous.
It don't matter. I don't. That stuff don't bother me. It is you didn't expand lanes. You restricted lanes.
Yep.
They did not improve traffic flow.
Right.
You don't shut a city down for 2 flipping years and not improve traffic flow.
Oh yeah, I know.
I agree.
And that is my biggest bitch.
It's terrible. We
I'm
came
a
through there
daily
last
user.
night. And it was awful. Right at 3:30, 4 o'clock, right at 4 o'clock ish. Just
Well,
all the way
up so late.
back. Yeah, exactly. Backed up all the way almost to Marion University. Almost that far backed up.
Oh.
Yep.
I wonder how many accidents this has have increased in the Indianapolis area in the last 2 years due to this construction, because it's maddening.
Well,
dude.
the Hammer's made over $1 billion on accidents.
The Hammer.
We put
They call the
1.5
Hammer.
in there. So,
Yep.
speaking of fun fact, I don't know if you know this. He first went on air. He was 600. So you guys know, $630 million when his first commercial came on here locally. In 6 months, he scaled to over $1 billion recovered for his people. That tells you how powerful the commercial is and why you see so many during the political campaign.
Right.
And why money talks during it. Right there, he made basically double his fortune that he quote unquote recovered. And it's 30% minimum at the beginning of that.
Right.
It went from it was advertised as 630 million. And he said 1.2 billion 6 months later did a new commercial.
Some states are making it harder though to sue truckers. There's a new bill coming through.
They should.
You can only sue them for
truckers
certain
professionals,
amounts.
They're doing their best,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Hey, you're listening to Ship's Gonna Happen. David B, you got anything else? Timmy D?
No, just follow us on any social media. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. Leave a comment, positive or negative. We appreciate all the input. So
Ship's Gonna Happen. OUT. Have a good weekend.